But I go, can I just try another one? That moment comes and I just go, this is Sparta!
Gerard Butler may have roared, "This is Sparta!" with unstoppable fury. But what fans never saw was the chaos, pain, and near madness happening behind the camera. Now, years later, Butler is breaking his silence and revealing the brutal truth about what really went down during the making of 300. Curious to know what the movie never showed you? Let's uncover the secrets Butler finally brought to light. A surprising hit. When 300 was theatrically released in early March 2007, few expected it to become one of the most talked-about movies of its time. Directed by Zack Snyder and based on Frank Miller's graphic novel, the film did not rely on big-name stars or traditional historical storytelling. Instead, it brought a hyper-stylized vision of the Battle of Thermopylae to the screen with bold visuals, slow-motion action, and intense performances. Despite being a risky project in the eyes of studios, 300 defied all expectations at the box office. In its opening weekend, 300 pulled in an astonishing $70 million in ticket sales. This massive success stunned Hollywood, especially considering the film's modest budget of $60 million. The momentum did not stop there. 300 went on to gross over $456 million worldwide, becoming one of the most profitable and talked-about films of that year. Its financial performance proved that audiences were eager for something different, something that pushed the boundaries of both storytelling and visual style. Business Insider and Wikipedia both highlight this unexpected triumph as a turning point for stylized cinema. Beyond memes and pop culture, 300 also inspired a major fitness movement. The sculpted physiques of the Spartan warriors, led by Gerard Butler's King Leonidas, became a new standard for cinematic strength. Viewers around the world began asking how the cast achieved such intense physical results. Soon magazines and personal trainers introduced the now famous 300 workout, a high-intensity fitness routine used by the cast during preparation for filming. GQ reported that this workout captured public attention and led to a broader conversation about fitness, masculinity, and dedication. Gyms started offering Spartan-themed training programs, and the movie's influence on fitness culture continued to grow long after its theatrical run. The film 300 wasn't just a hit, but what most people don't know is what was really going on behind the scenes. Beneath the roaring battles and stylized visuals was a grueling process filled with pain, sacrifice, and relentless effort. None of that was visible to fans until Gerard Butler finally broke his silence. When he began to reveal the truth about what the cast and crew endured, it opened the door to a story far more intense than what was shown on screen. Let's get into the surprising details that fans never saw coming. The daily toll. The daily toll, injuries and hospitalizations on set. Director Zack Snyder brought Frank Miller's graphic novel to life with intense visuals, near shot-for-shot accuracy, and groundbreaking digital backlot techniques. Using advanced blue-screen technology and visual effects-heavy scenes, Snyder built an immersive, painterly world of myth and violence. But behind that breathtaking spectacle was a brutal reality. According to Gerard Butler, the set of 300 was not just about cinematic glory. It was a daily grind of injuries, exhaustion, and emergency hospital visits. In a candid interview, Butler admitted, "I remember every day somebody was getting taken to the hospital." Butler claims, "You'd be doing a fight, you turn around, there's a guy down there, a spear went in his eye. Another time, you turn around, there's a guy over there who just fell, broke his ankle. I mean, it was insane. The battle choreography may have looked clean and calculated on screen, but in reality, the physical demands often led to chaos. Real weapons, although dulled for safety, still posed serious risks. During one fight sequence, a spear came dangerously close to an actor's eye. In another instance, a cast member suffered an ankle fracture from a mistimed fall. These were not isolated incidents. The film required its actors to perform take after take of high-impact stunts, all while wearing heavy gear and moving through tight, confined spaces surrounded by blue screens. There was no room for error, yet injuries happened constantly. This was in part due to how Snyder chose to shoot the action. Instead of relying on traditional stunt doubles, many of the actors were encouraged or expected to perform their own fight scenes. The result was more authentic and visually powerful, but it came at a high cost. The performers pushed their bodies to the limit. Bruises, muscle tears, and cuts were common. There were no easy days on set. Every moment of slow-motion glory that played out on screen was built on sweat, pain, and relentless physical effort. With so much of the movie being created through digital effects, the actors had to rely on imagination and endurance. They fought enemies that weren't really there, swung swords against green-screen backdrops, and maintained character through hours of repetitive, exhausting movement. It was acting and physical training fused into one punishing ordeal. Butler often described feeling completely drained, both physically and mentally, by the end of each day. Despite the pain, the cast kept pushing. For Butler, playing a Spartan king meant embracing the suffering that came with it. The scars and hospital visits were part of the price. What the audience saw as heroic and powerful was, in reality, the product of a relentless and often dangerous production environment. And if the injuries weren't enough, what truly pushed the cast to their limits was the brutal physical preparation that came long before the cameras ever started rolling. Physical preparation. Punishing physical preparation. The transformation into Spartan warriors for 300 did not begin with makeup or costumes. It began months before filming, deep in the training rooms of Jim Jones, where Gerard Butler and his fellow cast members underwent one of the most intense physical preparations ever seen in Hollywood. To embody the warrior king Leonidas, Butler trained relentlessly for a full 7 months. His sessions were long and exhausting, lasting up to 6 hours each day. This preparation included CrossFit routines, heavy bodybuilding, intense sword-fighting drills, and relentless circuit training. According to sources like GerardButler.net and Gerard Butler Gals, this was not a typical Hollywood fitness plan. It was a complete physical overhaul designed to transform ordinary men into mythic figures. The training program was led by elite fitness expert Mark Twight at Jim Jones. Twight's methods were extreme, meant to push the actors far beyond what they believed their bodies could endure. With a no-nonsense attitude and a results-focused mindset, Twight combined high-intensity CrossFit exercises with traditional conditioning, weightlifting, and martial arts. The training even included simulated combat situations to prepare the cast for their fight scenes. In between takes on set, the actors continued working out, often lifting weights or doing calisthenics to maintain their pumped look for the camera. This wasn't just about looking strong, it was about becoming strong. The Spartan warriors had to appear carved out of stone, but also move with the power and precision of real soldiers. The idea was to build not just muscle, but true functional strength and endurance. As highlighted by sources like The Ultimate Primate and How Stuff Works, the cast didn't just lift weights, they flipped tires, swung kettlebells, sprinted through obstacle courses, and performed countless push-ups and pull-ups in rapid succession. Martial arts drills were repeated again and again, blending choreography with real-world movements. The goal was clear: to prepare the actors not just for film, but for battle. Gerard Butler has spoken openly about how punishing the training became. He later admitted that it nearly destroyed his body. The constant wear and tear led to painful injuries, including tendinitis, hip damage, and a torn rotator cuff. At one point, Butler could barely lift his arms due to the strain. He pushed through it all, driven by the need to truly embody Leonidas. His dedication was not only physical but also emotional. Butler later told Business Insider that the training was ruining his body, especially during filming, when the physical toll never let up. Long days on set were followed by continued workouts, sometimes to maintain muscle definition or to prepare for the next big action scene. It was a never-ending cycle of effort and exhaustion. The training didn't stop when filming started, it only got harder. The pain, in his words, helped him reach the intensity of a true Spartan leader. For Butler, playing Leonidas was about more than memorizing lines or hitting marks. It was about suffering, sacrificing, and earning every moment on screen. The official 8-week training program that most of the cast followed became famous in its own right. It mixed CrossFit routines, high-rep weight circuits, and brutal endurance drills to create a Spartan body in record time. The training became so legendary that it was later published online and adapted by gyms around the world. Fans and fitness enthusiasts attempted the routine themselves, many finding it nearly impossible to complete. But beyond the physical grind and punishing routines, what truly set Gerard Butler apart was the level of personal commitment he brought to the role mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. His ultimate commitment. Butler's ultimate commitment. According to one media outlet, Butler's approach to embodying Leonidas was unconventional and immersive. He meditated regularly, claiming that he tried to channel Leonidas through a weird portal. For Butler, it wasn't enough to just act like a warrior on camera. He wanted to truly experience the mindset of a man who would lead 300 soldiers into certain death. This meditative practice became part of his daily preparation, helping him dig deep into the character's soul and bring a sense of realism and emotional power to the role. This commitment extended far beyond internal work. Butler also chose to perform many of his own stunts, despite the physical risks involved. He believed that doing the action himself would make the role more authentic. It was not simply about impressing the audience, it was about honoring the role. In one of the film's key battle sequences, Butler threw himself into the action with such energy that he later described the experience as one of the greatest adrenaline highs of his career. Every swing of his sword and every shout of defiance came from a place of full emotional and physical investment.